Hey, what's up, Liron here, and in this video I will show you how you can greatly improve your watercolors real fast, especially if you choose to focus on one specific subject, like I did with my 100 cars challenge. So this is car 99, probably the best one so far, and the challenge is over, so the best one out of all of the 100 cars. And I will give you a few really important tips for how to improve in one specific subject. And if you want to get an original painting, you can see the link here, lirongallery.com, and maybe you want to purchase an original one like this one. This is not going to be for sale, but there are plenty of other ones there. Without further ado, let's look at the painting. So here's what it looks like, hopefully a bit of a better view on the table. And I do have to apologize, I've been really under the weather, been really sick for a couple of days, so I was less communicative, but now I'm hopefully gradually I'm going to go back. So one of the key advice that became very apparent as I was working on this challenge is to focus on the action of painting, while on a macro level, dedicate yourself to the challenge. So what do I mean by that? On a macro level, you decide I'm going to paint 100. You don't have to be as extreme as I did with 100 of the same subject. You can go with something lighter, like 50, 20, whatever. But you make a macro commitment. Then, after you have that, it's all about the doing, because believe me, the cars that are a standout result have not been painted any differently than the ones that are maybe just a normal kind of iteration of a car. The main difference was in just random elements of how I felt that day, the mood I was in. So let me give you a very practical example. One day I was in the mood of, let's do a very detailed car painting. And then I ended up doing one with tons of glazes, and the result ended up being much more realistic because of that. Now in this example too, the mood I was in was, let's get something, wow, let's get something impressive out there. So the first thing I thought of was size. Let's make this one much bigger than the other ones. And this is how the very initial idea of let's do the more impressive thing, that's how it came to happen. And then I was like, okay, so I want to get a lot of details, like all of these beautiful reflections that you can see here. And of course, I'm going to try and show you throughout this video some scans and some close-ups. But this is, again, here the main, like there's a car in the car, which is really, really cool. And then I was like, okay, so I want it to be super accurate. I'm going to have to do a very, I'm going to have to do a very accurate and detailed sketch. And so I actually put this paper on my monitor and I traced very accurately to the smallest details, right? Even this part impressed a lot of people, the back window with the wiper. So all of these. And then I did proper preparation. I took the reference photos, I turned them black and white, posterized, and really thought about, okay, how do I want to simplify the shapes? How do I want to represent this subject? And then what I did was work very slow glazes. So I actually did multiple glazes of these. I don't remember if I have pictures of these. If I do, I will share them throughout the video. And then I kept going and kept going. And believe me, there was an ugly stage where I was thinking to myself, I don't think this is going to turn out like anything. And I started overworking this area. There was this stage, okay? But lo and behold, we went past that and it actually worked out. At some point, I took a picture of it. I compared the black and white to black and white, and I was blown away. I was like, okay, this is really, really good. Much better than I thought when I was looking at it as I was painting it. So remember, you're close to the process. It's very hard to see the painting for what it actually is, okay? So let's go back to my biggest tip that I can give you for this. On a macro level, you make a decision to commit to a specific challenge. In this example, the challenge I've committed myself to is 100 cars. Now you may decide it's going to be 5 landscapes, right? You just make it predetermined. Start small, make it predetermined. Once you have that commitment in, it's all about, I'm going to trust that something worthwhile is going to come out of this challenge. In this example, it's going to be just me sitting down and painting every day or every couple of days, and just working on the current painting I'm working on, and then working on the next painting I'm working on, and let that carry you, because this is what happened for me. It just carried me in the right places. Sometimes I felt like being looser, I did something looser, and it turns out fantastic. Sometimes I felt like letting loose with the colors, so I just threw in tons of hues, and you saw these couple of cars that have just all sorts of colors in them. Sometimes I felt like doing something more loyal to the source, very realistic, very detailed, like this one, okay? But the key is here. The key is in your mindset. And of course, everyone is where they're at, right? So you're at whatever current level you're at, and that is perfectly fine. So maybe you feel like you're looking at this and you think, oh, I can't get this result. First off, I believe you can. But even let's say that you're limited in some way because you're not as experienced as I do, you still will produce a result that is matching your level and a couple of levels above that, kind of like what I talked about on how to create a masterpiece right now, which you can actually do. But in any case, I hope this tip helps. This is basically all I wanted to share with you. Car 99 is a celebration. Car 100, funny and ironically enough, is quite plain, bland, and that's exactly how I like it. It really goes to show that that's what this challenge is all about, actually. Because the challenge isn't about producing something that is perfect and beautiful every single time. Not at all. The challenge is about devoting yourself to something. And in this example, I definitely devoted myself to it. And it's just the perfect example that R100 is extremely plain, bland, quite boring, and probably not one of the best ones of this challenge. I love that. I love that because it shows I'm not a master because I completed 100 cards. I'm just now moving towards the next step, right? So I hope that makes sense. I do want to thank you so much for watching. Once again, don't forget, check out the gallery if you want to get some original paintings. Check out my watercolor courses in the link below. Many of you have gotten the frustration-free watercolor course, but have not taken the leap to the watercolor realism course. And that may be the missing link for you if you're trying to achieve realism in watercolor. Shut up, phone. If you're trying to achieve realism in watercolor, you're trying to take your paintings to the next level, make them look believable, real, check out the Watercolor Realism course. You will not regret it. And with that, I will see you in the next vid. I do want to thank, before that, all of my supporters on Patreon. Much, much appreciated. You are a huge part of what enables me to do this for a living, which is crazy. So thank you so much for that. I will see you in the next one.